Hello my beautiful flowers and welcome to my channel. If you are new, hello, it's great to see you. I hope you consider subscribing and joining us on my journey to become debt-free and save for my very first home. In today's video, we are going to be doing an expense cash out for the month of September. We're going to be taking money out of my sinking funds and putting it back into my buffer account as I have spent on my debit card and my credit card throughout the month. So stick around and we'll get right into the video. So I have my cash expenses sheet in front of me. I've gone ahead and filled it out. I haven't been very good this month about filling it out as I spend, so I just went through my bank statement and my credit card statement and filled out everything I would need to put back into my bank account. So we're going to start off at the top of the sheet here with gifts. I have a few expenses for gifts this month. So starting at the top, we have a gift expense for $8.54 and $39.22 and that $35 there. So that is a total of $82.76 out of gifts. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and try and get 83 out of there. So I believe I have that. I'm gonna try and keep my larger bills. So 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 82, and I think 82 will be okay. I'm gonna try and get rid of some of these smaller bills. I don't like to take the larger bills back to the bank. Ooh, get this all organized. Okay, there we go. So this should be what I have left over. So let me just double check. This is around, I think this is 82. 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75, 80, 81, 82. Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that up there and put the rest back in my gifts envelope. And then that means I can go ahead and on my sheet here, mark off those gift expenses. So we have gifts there. We have this expense. Oops. And the very last one, that $35. Perfect. I feel like I need to get a new iPad. This one's really, really old. It's an iPad Air, 2nd generation, I believe. So moving on, we have a health expense. I believe this is the last time I should have this. It's $135, and I actually don't know if I have this much yet. I might have to pull this at a later date, or take what I have from it, and whatever I don't have, next time I get paid, I just will leave that in there. So if we have 50, 70, 90, 100, 5, 10, 15, 16. So I only have 116, so I'm gonna take the whole 116, and then that means I'm short, how much? About $17. So next time I go to stuff my health sinking fund, instead of putting $20 in here, I'll leave it in my bank account. All right, so that takes care of that health expense. Moving on to utilities, we do have a few utilities expenses. I have my water bill pull on the 9th for $27.37. And then I also had my internet bill pull for $65.60. And I believe that is it for utilities. So that's $92.97 so far for the month. And I know I haven't had my heating bill pull yet, but that's okay. I might just have to catch it. I think it's at the very, very end of the month. So $92.97, and I'm gonna go ahead and break down one of these 50s. That way I can get the exact 92. So 20, 30, 40, 50. Put that back. Actually, let's just see if I can get maybe just 90. So 50, 70, 80, 90. Perfect. 50, 70, 80, 90. And I know I still have a 50 in there, but at the very end, when I go to count up the cash, I will exchange that in some of my other sinking funds to make sure I don't have to take that large bill back. All right, so let's go ahead and cross off our water bill. And where is that utility in there? There it is, right there. Okay, moving on, we have one expense out of my husband, Zach, his fund. He spent $38. And I'm trying to remember where his is at. There it is. So we have 10, 20, 30, and I might just have to take out 40 and put in $2 from this pile. Perfect. His leftovers in there. And cross his out. Next up, we have our phone bill pulling for $141, and this is another one. I don't think I have that quite yet, simply because my cash stuffings have been off this month. Normally, my husband and I get paid every week, so I get paid one week and he gets paid the next week. However, this month we've been getting paid the same date, so I haven't been able to do the normal amount of stuffing. So right now, I only have 90. So what I will do is the next time I go to stuff, I will just leave it in the bank and we'll start fresh next time. So I only had 90 to put in towards phone. It's kind of a bummer when things get off like this, but we push through and we make adjustments with our budget as we need to. All right, moving on to our next expense is business for $40.60. So I'm gonna try and pull 40 or 41 from here. And 20, 30, 40. Looks like I'll just be able to do 40. Cross that out. Moving on, we have a couple of car expenses. So my husband had to get an oil change plus something worked on with his tires, I think. So that was $45.57, and then I had my car registration due for $252, so we need to pull $297 from our car fund. I'm fairly certain we have that. So I do have a $100 bill in there, but I want to keep that. So at 51, 150, 2. Oh, we might actually just have to pull 300. So we have 100, 152, 253, and then let's see if I can get $3 out of here. Do I have any more dollar bills? I have one. That'll have to do. All right. Those are our car expenses taken care of. Cross those out. Perfect. Sorry if that was off screen there. All right, moving on to entertainment. I bought a game for $5.34. Try and get $5 or $6 out of here. Looks like we can do 5. And for me, this isn't an exact science. As long as I can get basically the right amounts back in the bank, I'm totally fine with it. I don't put too much pressure on myself to be perfect with it. All right, so we have a couple of subscriptions due. We had our Amazon Prime pull and our Spotify. So that was, let's see, Prime was $13.77 and Spotify was $10.59. That's $24.36. So let's see what we can pull out of our subscriptions. Let's do 25. 10, 25. And there's the leftovers. And I think we just have one more on here. Clothing for $60. A couple of videos ago, I think I told you guys I bought some clothes from Shein and I ended up really liking them. So I made another purchase for $60. I bought a couple of shirts for work. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this 60, and I have a few dollars left in there. It was hard to limit myself. I'm sure I could have spent at least $300 on there, but I really tried to limit myself. So I think what I'm gonna do is build up my clothing fund even more so I can buy even more stuff. All right, so that is it for pulling the funds out of my envelope. So now I'm gonna go ahead and organize this cash. I'm gonna take any big bills that I have in here. You can see I have a couple of hundreds and a couple of 50s. I'm gonna go ahead and exchange bills out of my sinking funds. That way I can kind of just consolidate it and take the smaller bills back to the bank. Okay, I believe I have consolidated everything I can. Unfortunately, I still have a couple of 50s that I simply cannot find anywhere to put them. So they will have to go back to the bank. I have been thinking about, with my 100 envelope challenge, about taking those envelopes and putting, you know, a 1K slip in there just so I don't have so much in my home, but I feel like that's something I'm just gonna think on a little bit more before I do. So I'm gonna go ahead and count here. I have my calculator nearby just in case, but let's go ahead and see how much I'm gonna be putting back into the bank. Keep in mind there's a couple of really large expenses in here, like my car registration and stuff like that that are not too normal to have. So we have 50, 100, 150, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 20, 40, 60, 80, 500, 20, 40, 60, 80, 600, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 800, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, 800, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 845, which is a pretty decent amount. I feel like the past couple of months I've had really large expense cash outs, but I also have had quite a few really large expenses over the last few months. So kind of to be expected there when you have large expenses, large expense cash outs. So anyways, $845 will be going back into the bank to cover expenses that I made on my credit card and my debit card throughout the month. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions for me, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.